Hardworking.
Brave.
She was a very fun individual, very personable. I would say she was tough and stern. But I would say she was understanding. I would definitely say she was understanding. But above all, I feel like she was fun. Like at the end of the day, she was just very fun and loving. Like, yeah.
I would say she was calculated, and she was full of life all the time. No matter the situation, she was full of life, and she was love. I would say through affection. She was very affectionate. She was physical. She loved to love on you. Very verbal. She loved us all the time. And through like acts of just kindness and doing things for us.
So I would say she's a very physical individual. So like through like her past experiences, so the way that she didn't feel like she received love growing up, that's how she showed us love. So what was missing for her as a child was what she was like really big on. So like that verbal aspect of making sure that we heard her say I love you and things like that, and then like physically like hugging us and like physically wanting us to be super connected to her and stuff, or next to her or touching her and things like that. So she was really big with the physical aspect of it. So I'll say, yeah, that was her big thing.
I think after my mom passed away, I realized that I didn't have a plan B. I didn't have a backup. I didn't have that solid grounding that parents provide for you. Like, I know that at the end of the day, this person is 100%, like, no matter what, like, when I felt like I lost a part of who I was. And so her passing really I had to really find love in other ways, like find love through other people, find love through other things in life. I had to grow up. I had to mature a lot quicker, because that's it. When you grow up with one parent and that parent's gone, that's your person. And so I think it forced me and my siblings, I think our relationship got a lot better, and it forced us to address things and become closer. And I lost my mother, but I gained a best friend in my sister. So I think that's a huge change for me. I didn't really go to other people. I went to family. I went to friends. And I appreciated them more in the moment, and I appreciated more of what they did for me and what I could do for them, and I had a new appreciation for life. So I don't think it was, I didn't even realize it at the time. So it's not something that I could have told them that was going on. I think it was in retrospect, looking back, and I was like, okay, that's what it was. That's what's going on.
It looked the same. Yeah, I know it's a little crazy, but it kind of looked the same. But I think a lot of it was the fact that I feel like I denied her passing for a long time. And it's interesting because he has actually never seen me cry about her. So that's okay. But So a lot of it was, I kind of went on as if like, because I had been away for like, I was in college, so I didn't go home as often senior year. So when it happened, it was kind of like I'm away from her in a sense, and so it wasn't really. I knew it happened, but in my subconscious, it wasn't really real for me yet. And then I would actually say that it really hit me when we went back and we cleaned out her room because it was final at that point, and there was nothing, there and stuff. So for me, that was a tough moment. And but like as far as like when the event happened, it was fresh and it was new. I really kind of went on. There's just certain things that like my mom taught us, and one of the things she was big on was you can't stop living life to take care of me, because when I'm gone, then what do you do? And so in her passing, I held so strongly to just that portion of it, and was like, the world doesn't stop. And I say it, and I said it so often, and I mean it, and I believe it. The world does not stop. And so you can't stop when things get tough and times get difficult, but you have to learn to pull back and take a break sometimes and gather yourself together. And for a long time, I did not stop and get myself together. I just kept going, and I still keep going. And so, but now I do a lot more self-reflection towards the end of the day. And the month of October is always such a difficult month. But so I'll say now, 4 years later, there's a lot of growth in it now. But in the beginning, I kept my everyday routine. There was more responsibility because, now it was like Kenia was the younger one, and I felt this sense of responsibility to make sure that she was well taken care of, and the things that she couldn't get from my mother, I tried to make sure that to some degree I provided that for her, and that she knew that at the end of the day, like, she was taken care of and she didn't have to worry. And I probably was an enabler to a certain extent. So I think I gave her way more than my mom probably would have given her, but it was because I felt like that's still kind of like the love, or that's at least what my mom would have wanted to give her, even if she couldn't. That would have still been the intention. And so I just tried to make sure that I took that responsibility on. I really didn't have to, though, to be honest. Like, I could have I tried to share it, but I really took it on, like, I was like, this is my responsibility. I'm the big sister here type situation and stuff. So, now this has been a lot of growth. It's been, there's great learnings in times of death. And I think you learn a lot about love and sacrifice. Would be the two biggest things. So, every day is an experience still. So
for a long time. So I'm the total opposite of Linda. Like,
night and day. Night and day.
So whereas she's like, my mom did teach us to like keep going. I'm like, nah, I gotta take a step. I gotta take a break. I gotta take a step back. I need to feel my emotions. I need to go through them. I need to be in the moment and feel what I feel in the moment and allow myself to feel that, because I know pushing forward, I won't be better because of it. I won't be better because I'm ignoring how I'm feeling right now. So for me to move on, I had to, in the moment, realize what my situation was, and in the moment, feel it, and in the moment, understand, like, my mother's gone. Like, the one I look to, and the woman who brought me into this world and raised me to be the woman that I am, and the reason that I am who I am, is no longer here. When my mother passed away, I had to address it immediately because my life was still at home. I still went back. I still had to go back every weekend and go to that house that she would have been at. I still have to do things in Immokalee where she would have been. I still have to see all of her friends, and I still have to live life the way that I would have lived it. And she was still a huge presence in my everyday decisions. She was still, I would go to Immokalee and go pick her up to take her to a doctor's appointment. So a week later, when I'm not picking her up for a doctor's appointment, I'm hit with the reality again. And so addressing my emotions in those moments is exactly how I was able to move on and be like, I'm gonna be okay, and and I know that this pain, I will always feel this pain, but I will eventually be able to live life and be happy despite this situation, despite this pain, despite everything that has transpired. I know that who my mother was, and I know the strength that she instilled in me, so I just have to push forward with that.
I don't really feel like there's advice to give to people, because here's the thing, so I'm really big on I don't understand how you feel, right? Even somebody's mother, father, parent, guardian could pass away, I still don't know how you feel. We both have had big losses, but I don't know what your relationship with that parent or guardian was to really, so it's kind of hard to give advice there, because I don't know if y'all were close. I don't know if, I just don't know what that is. So for me, I regret nothing. No experiences, none of, I feel like me and my mom, despite everything, had a great relationship. I regret none of the moments that happened, because all of those are memories. So it's hard to give advice to people. But one thing that I do tell people is that your feelings are real and your feelings are valid. So don't rush your grieving process. And then I just want people to know, your grieving process doesn't have to look the same as my grieving process. It don't have to look the same as Kenya's. Everyone's process is going to be different. It's just all about it being a healthy process. And so, night and day right here. And I wouldn't, our process 100% different, but I wouldn't say mine was wronger than the way she did it, or that mine was right and hers was wrong. Because we're different people, we grieve differently. And so, recently I told somebody, sometimes you just have to take a step back and, understand that your feelings are valid, but you just have to figure out what's healthy for you to cope with it. And then don't feel like you have to get over it within the week, after the funeral, if it's said and done type situation, or even the whole conversation of it gets easier with time. Because that's hard for me to tell somebody that it gets easier with time. Once again, your process is your process.
I would say the healing process is raw. It's unfiltered. It's different for everyone, but I would say that you feel it. You have to go through every stage in that process, and there is no skipping there's no skipping the grieving process and getting to the better side of everything. You have to completely go through it and feel everything, and however you grieve, you have to grieve, because I don't even know what I would look like if I didn't go through the healing process. If I did rush it, I don't think I would be a happy person. I don't think I would be able to smile. I don't think I would be able to laugh or appreciate life, because I think when you lose somebody, when you lose somebody that close to you, you lose sight of some things. And so I say you have to go through it. You have to, it's raw, it's unfiltered, you never know what's gonna happen. You never know what you're gonna feel. You could be mad, you could be sad. You can feel all the emotions all at once, but you just gotta feel it, and you gotta let your mind and your emotions go through it, and your heart, because it is a heartbreak. it is a romantic relationship that you share with somebody that you no longer get to have with that person. So that's all I can say about it, really.